Alright, let's get right into this. So, the Part 2 LR has been revealed about a week earlier than it normally would be. I suspect this is because there's going to be some kind of easy A for Part 2, and they decided to drop the LR early so that it wouldn't conflict with that week of easy A. And the LR is a base form Goku. This is an interesting choice to say the least. Base form Goku is definitely one of the more contested names at the moment, and we're going to go right over that in a little bit. The animations, they're fine. Like, I wouldn't say they're bad or anything. Definitely a little substandard for 2023, but that's all well and good. We have the translations from Goresh here, and this is let's just look at it for a second. So obviously the leader skill, that doesn't matter. The movie heroes, final time card, like this doesn't matter. It's a 150 lead. No one's running that anymore. 12 key, he does not get defense. He greatly raises attack for one turn. And his 18 key, he gets a greatly raised attack and defense for one turn. This is pretty good. I think most units these days should have this at least. And an AoE. If you follow Dokkan and you know what it's like when units get AoEs, recently it hasn't been too bad, but generally an AoE is a sign that the kit has been downplayed somewhere, and we're going to see that it has been downplayed a lot. Okay, so passive, Earth Saving Light, we got Key 5, attack and defense 150%. This is solid. His stats, if we can go back over here, his stats are good. He's got the second highest HP stat in the game. His attack stat's kind of low for an LR, but it's fine. It's acceptable. And his defense is pretty standard for what they do today. It's about 1350. And so we've got his on super attack buff. Gain additional attack and defense plus 100% when launching a super attack if there's one enemy. This is 99% of the hard fights in the game. So this is fine. This will go well with his 150%. And, okay, here's the weirdness. If there are 2 or more enemies, keep in mind what I just said here. One enemy, which is 99% of the game. If there are 2 or more enemies, gain additional key plus 5, and additional attack and defense plus 30% for every enemy that exists past the second enemy. So, this is a little weird. This is the first time I think we've seen this. How this is going to work is that he does his 18 key AoE super, and he's going to hit the first 2 enemies, and he's not going to gain anything from this. After that, he's going to start gaining this attack buff. Actually, no, that's not how that works. So, this is actually start of turn, and for every enemy past the second... Sorry, I'm just now seeing this get, like, just recently. This is obviously the night of release. So, it's 30% attack and defense from the 3rd enemy, 4th enemy, and 5th enemy. Generally in Super Battle Road, there's only 5 enemies, so he's going to get 90%. I don't even know if there is a single event where he could get the full 150. Like, if there's 6 enemies, I think it would work where it only starts from the 3rd enemy onwards. So he's never getting this full buff, which is strange. And then, this is one of the most infamous mechanics in the game, but it's pretty high for him. He gets an additional key plus 5 and attack plus 59% for the rest of the battle when landing the finishing blow. This is a pretty bad mechanic, but it's good on a unit who is great offensively. Think of like the GT Duo if they had this. He would be able to get this attack buff, and with this attack buff, he does a lot more damage. But he does not do enough damage to be able to get this consistently. You are oftentimes not going to have this up, which sucks because it's key. And it's something that he sorely needs, as we're going to see here. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 100% when key is 21 or more. This is an on super buff, so it should be with this section. There is a multiplicative buff with 150 and 200. That's what he's going to have. That's it for his passive, which is not great. There's no crits, no additionals. So this guy isn't an offense unit, really. And there's no defensive tech here. He's just kind of whatever. Now, this is the one part of his passive that I think is kind of interesting, of his card. The active is the Super Spirit Bomb. Able to be used when 3 turns or more have elapsed and HP is 59% or below, or after 5 or more turns have elapsed from the start of battle and there's one enemy. You are going to see this last restriction every fight. He will always get this active up. But, unfortunately, it does not have a crit. It massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to the enemy. But with all of these different attack and defense buffs, this active skill, at times, will do good damage. That is essentially what this unit has. Not great. His link set, Saiyan Warrior Race, all in the family, Saiyan lineage, Z Fighters prepared for battle, fierce battle, and legendary power, which is pretty solid. Categories, general, Tree of Might Goku categories, nothing really interesting to say there. So, the unit that I want to bring up to talk about this unit with this Goku is Kai Goku, who released, what is that, now 4 months ago? Kai Goku, we're going to take a look here at some calculations of what this Goku does in terms of damage. Thanks Pat here for the calcs. This Goku, after getting the final blow, is doing about a 19 million attack stat. Without it, he's doing 16. This Kai Goku, at times, is doing that exact same attack stat, but he has a crit chance, which would be right here. He has a crit chance, and wouldn't you also know it, he guards. He guards for 6 turns. So, this unit is not doing anything that this Kai Goku isn't already doing, outside of probably hitting harder than this active skill majority of the time. Except this active skill does guaranteed crit, but the number on his active skill should be hitting a lot harder. So, already, this unit is struggling, not even just with him, but we also have 23rd Goku, who released just a month ago, or 2 months ago at this point. And this Goku also wants to be in slot 1, so you can't run them together, really. He's also a base form Goku. And once he revives, this unit is a top 3 unit in the game. But it's just, it's bad. I don't really know what to say for this unit other than he has a pretty bleak situation right now. The one thing to note, if I can find the correct translation once again, he is on Turtle School. And I think, which is Kai Goku's leader skill, I think you can find a way to get Kai Goku away from this unit and to run them both on the leader skill. But that's it. I don't really know what else you can say for this Goku. None of these other teams really want him. None of these other teams need him. This is one of the worst releases in a while. And talking about his defense, which Kai Goku obviously destroys, his defense is looking at about million, which is fine, but the hardest fight in the game right now is Physical Sin on JP. And if you know me on Twitter, I basically exclusively do that fight. And this Goku, before he attacks, is looking at 200k. With All in the Family. And if you're curious on what that is from Physical Sin, we're looking at probably around 500k damage per AoE. So, it's bad. The one good thing, though, is that the active skill, which is why I said this is like the only interesting thing about this unit, he's going to activate a lot of his defense stats in his passive. So, once he uses his active skill, he'll be taking, we ballparked this at around 90k damage, which is fine for an AoE unit, for an INT unit, but that's it. So I want to also compare Kai Goku, or not Kai Goku, this Tree Goku, to LR Super Buu, who is the last, well, not the last, we also have Bulma here, the last LR that kind of fits this kind of mold of being weird. Except LR Super Buu is going to be doing similar damage to what this guy does, except he's also guarding. Again, this unit is just, he is an oddity. People on Twitter right now are comparing him to Physical Raditz, and I think, as far as the release goes with a puzzling kit, that's probably true. Although this guy is definitely better on release than Physical Raditz was at the time. But in terms of oddities with his kit, I can definitely see it. I also got Enerjack YT, his calcs with Kid Gohan. Again, like around 19 million. This is with 6 enemies. You're never seeing this, but it is good to know that with 6 enemies, his attack can be pretty decent. And then defensively, same thing, around 1 million. Another thing I wanted to highlight with this unit that's going to be a struggle for him is obviously we know that I just said with All in the Family, he's sitting at around 900k to 1 million defense. But All in the Family is not a great link right now. You have Kai Goku and 23ku, but these units do not link with him because of the same name update. Kid Han, who would be a decent linking partner with him, is slot 2. This unit is also a slot 2 unit. Beast Han is slot 1, can be slot 1 for the first 3 turns, and that's pretty much all he has. Tech Pan's not going to be ran with him. Tech Gohan's too old. This Kid Goku is not really a slot 1 unit. This Goku / Gohan post-exchange can be a slot 1 unit. But that's about it. Very bleak. And just to highlight the point that I said earlier, that this Goku is a very heavy competition unit. So we have Kai Goku, who released this year. We have 23ku, who released this year. We have this EZA Goku, who released this year. He's pretty solid on Power of Wishes. And this EZA Namagoku, who released last year. He's not that great, but at least he has a Rage form, which is honestly more than what this guy has to offer. So yeah, that about does it for this Goku. Very disappointing. Let's try to look past him, because I don't really know how much more I can talk about with him, because he's not really that expansive. So I said that they made these, they're dropping this Goku a week early due to an EZA. I think there's probably about 2 choices for that EZA. We have LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who at this point is, I think he's the oldest unit not to EZA. If he's not the oldest, he's the second oldest. This guy EZAing right now would not be that great. He doesn't really have a lot of teams where this leader skill is going to be that, or that leader skill, these links. Like, he's not going to link with that many good units. I guess on, like, Mastered Evolution, on these, like, really weaker teams, you might find some use for him. But it's going to be really rough. He should EZA, but I'm not sure what they're going to do to make him good. Especially when, historically, this unit has been a key-hungry monster. He really wants his key. He has no key in his passive. But once he gets that key, he did decent damage for his time. So we'll see what they do there. The other option, who I think they should EZA, is this LR Turles. Obviously, this Goku is releasing with, if I can find him, in Dokkan Fest Turles' Celebration. Now, this Dokkan Fest Turles definitely is way better than this Goku, which is fine, but this Turles isn't even a top 5 TUR, so you would think that one or the other would be like a top tier unit. I wouldn't say either really are, but LR Turles can definitely make that more of a reality for Dokkan Fest Turles. He activates all of these big links for Turles, he gives this support. He's also really good with Cooler. LR Cooler, who he's going to share a lot of teams with. So I think they should EZA this unit. It's probably not going to happen because of the fact that this unit is 3 years younger than this unit. But I would definitely like to see that happen. And one final thing. We do have, thanks to Asuna with his automatic bot, we do know that this Vegeta, this Super Strike Vegeta, is going to get his Awakening. And he's going to get his EZA. Now, if we can take a look right here, I didn't think to pull this up, but where can I find this? Let me just pull up low class. Let's go giant form. I think this Vegeta generally shares a lot of what he's going to be doing. These teams, like Vegeta's family, I guess Inhuman Deeds, these like lower level teams, they could use this Vegeta. Not really sure what he's gonna do. He's pretty old, but they could definitely make him solid. This is around what he usually has for a link set. But obviously besides Transform and Saiyan Roar, because he's not going to be a grade 8 Vegeta. But yeah, I think this guy has the potential to be solid. We'll see what his details are like in, I think, around 30 hours from now. We'll see celebration info, and before that, we'll get the data download. So yeah, uh, very sad times for Dokkan. We're gonna be having 2 weeks where basically nothing that insane is happening unless LR Turles EZAs. If LR Turles EZAs, then I would say the celebration is okay. But if he doesn't, this might be one of the worst executed celebrations maybe in the past year or two. It's unfortunate. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.